Far away from her home, in a place no one had ever seen before, an alien woman lay weak and tired. She had been traveling through space, but something went terribly wrong. Her ship broke down, and she crashed on a strange planet. This planet was very different from the one she had left behind. The sky looked unfamiliar, and the air felt heavy. She was all alone, with no one to help her. The alien woman tried to stand up, but her body was hurt and very tired. She had cuts and bruises from the crash, and her strength was running out fast. She had no food or water, and she was far from anyone who could save her. Her heart was heavy, and she felt cold inside. She wondered if she would ever see her home again or meet anyone who cared. As she looked around, she saw nothing but rocks and dry land. The wind blew softly, carrying dust through the air. She felt scared and lost. The stars in the sky were strange and unfamiliar, and she missed the warm light of her own sun. Slowly, she sat down on the ground, her body aching and her mind filled with sadness. The alien woman closed her eyes, thinking maybe it was time to stop fighting. She felt like she had no hope left. She wanted to rest and let the pain go away. She thought about her family and friends back home, and tears came to her eyes. She felt very alone in the quiet world around her. Time passed slowly. The sun moved across the sky. But she did not open her eyes. She wanted to disappear and be free from the pain. She thought the stars would be the last thing she saw before everything went dark. But something was about to happen that would change everything. In the distance, a soft sound came through the quiet air. It was the sound of footsteps, slow and careful. A human was walking nearby, not far from where the alien woman lay. The human had no idea what they would find. The alien woman did not know it yet, but she was about to meet someone who would change her fate forever. The human was curious and kind, and when they saw the strange figure on the ground, they felt a sudden urge to help. For now, the alien woman remained still, her eyes closed, waiting for the darkness to come. But fate had another plan for her, one that would bring hope and a chance to live again. The human had been walking through the quiet land when suddenly something caught their eye. There, lying on the ground, was a figure unlike anything they had ever seen before. At first, the human thought it might be a lost traveler or an animal, but as they came closer, they realized this was something very different. The figure was not like any person they knew. The skin had a soft, unusual glow, and the shape was delicate, but strange. It was clear this being was hurt and very weak. The human's heart beat faster, but instead of feeling afraid, they felt a deep kindness. They knew that whoever or whatever this was, they needed help. The human carefully moved closer, not wanting to scare the stranger. They knelt down gently and looked at the alien woman's face. Her eyes were closed, and she looked peaceful but fragile. "Hello," the human whispered softly, unsure if she could hear. There was no answer. The silence felt heavy, but the human did not give up. They gently touched her shoulder. The alien woman stirred slightly, but did not open her eyes. It was clear she was in pain and very tired. The human quickly looked around for anything that could help. There was no sign of other people, no vehicles, and no buildings nearby. It was just the open land and the silent sky. The human realized that if they did not act fast, the alien woman might not survive much longer. With great care, the human lifted her into their arms. The alien woman was light, but still, she felt very fragile. The human could feel her breathing, slow and weak. They wrapped her in a soft cloth they had in their bag to keep her warm. The human's mind was racing. They needed to find shelter, water, and someone who could help. As they carried her, the human talked to her quietly, hoping to bring comfort. "You're safe now. I'm here to help you," they said softly. The alien woman did not respond, but the human felt a small movement, like a sign that she was still alive. The journey was not easy. The ground was rough, and the sun was high in the sky. The human's legs grew tired, but they did not stop. Their only goal was to keep the alien woman safe. Along the way, the human thought about what this strange being might be. Were they from another planet? Were they alone? Why was she here? The human remembered stories they had heard about other worlds, about creatures from the stars. They had never believed such stories fully, but now, holding this fragile life in their arms, those stories seemed real. The world was much bigger and more mysterious than they had ever imagined. After walking for a long time, the human found a small cave near a stream. It was hidden behind some trees and offered shade from the hot sun. The human carefully placed the alien woman down and gave her some water from the stream. She drank slowly, but it was clear she was thirsty. The human sat nearby, watching her closely. They wanted to do more, but did not know how. The alien woman's breathing grew stronger, and slowly her eyes began to flutter open. At first, she saw only darkness and blurry shapes. Then, as her vision cleared, she saw the face of the human looking down at her with gentle eyes full of concern. For a moment, neither spoke. The alien woman felt confused and weak. She did not understand where she was or who this person was, but she felt safe. The human's kindness was clear in their gentle voice and careful hands. The human smiled softly and said, "You're going to be okay. I won't let anything happen to you." The alien woman tried to speak, but her voice was barely a whisper. She looked at the human, trying to find words, but the pain and exhaustion made it hard. She wanted to explain, to tell her story, but all she could do was close her eyes again and rest. The human stayed by her side through the day and night, watching over her, ready to help whenever she woke. They brought food and water, and every time the alien woman opened her eyes, the human was there with a kind smile. Slowly, as the hours passed, the alien woman began to feel a little stronger. The warmth of the human's care gave her hope. For the first time since she crashed, she felt that maybe she was not alone after all. The human wanted to learn more about her, but they knew that trust would take time. They respected her silence and gave her space. They understood that this was just the beginning of a long journey for both of them. As the days went by, a quiet friendship started to grow. The alien woman watched the human closely. She noticed their gentle ways, their patience, and their courage. She wondered if this person could be the one to help her find a new home, or perhaps even help her find a way back to the stars. Neither knew what the future would bring. But at that moment, all that mattered was that the alien woman had been found, cared for, and was no longer alone. The alien woman slowly began to feel better. Each day, her strength grew a little more. She could now sit up and look around without feeling too weak. The human stayed by her side, bringing food, water, and soft blankets to keep her warm. Even though she was still far from home, the care she received made her feel safe and hopeful. At first, they could not understand each other's words. The alien woman spoke in a language no human had ever heard. The human spoke too, but their language was foreign to her. Sometimes they tried to explain things with simple words, but most of the time they used gestures, pointing, smiling, or drawing pictures in the dirt. It was slow, but they began to learn from each other. The alien woman showed the human signs that she was hungry or thirsty. The human showed her how to use simple tools and where to find food nearby. They laughed at the little mistakes they made, and that helped them feel closer. One morning, the alien woman opened her eyes and looked at the sky. It was bright blue with soft clouds floating by. She thought about her own world, a place with different colors and skies filled with unfamiliar stars. She felt a little sad, missing her family and her home planet deeply. The human noticed her, sadness, and gently touched her hand. It was a small gesture, but it said, "You are not alone." The alien woman smiled softly. She realized that even if this world was strange and new, there was kindness here. There was someone who cared. As days passed, the human asked questions, simple ones at first. "Who are you? Where do you come from?" The alien woman tried to answer but found it difficult. She showed drawings of stars and planets, hoping to explain where she had traveled from. The human listened carefully, fascinated by the stories that the alien woman tried to tell. Through this sharing, the human learned that the alien woman's world was far away in the galaxy. She came from a place where life was very different but beautiful. The alien woman had been on an important mission when her ship broke down. She had been separated from her people and had no way to contact them. The human wanted to help her find a way back home. But first, they needed to make sure she was safe. The news about a strange being living in the area soon spread to others, and not everyone was kind. Some people were curious but fearful, while others wanted to capture her for their own reasons. The human understood the danger and promised to protect the alien woman. They built a small shelter in a hidden place where she could rest without fear. They gathered supplies and prepared for whatever might come. The alien woman's body healed, but her mind carried the pain of loneliness and fear. She felt grateful for the human's kindness, but worried about the future. Would she ever return to her world? Would she ever see her family again? One evening, as the sun set and painted the sky with colors of orange and pink, the alien woman and the human sat together quietly. Words were few, but the feelings between them were strong. They had come from two different worlds, but in that moment, they shared hope and friendship. The alien woman looked at the stars appearing one by one in the dark sky. She made a silent promise to herself. No matter how hard the journey ahead might be, she would not give up. She would fight to live and find a new path, whether it led her home or to a new beginning. The human watching her felt the same promise. They had found something precious, a connection beyond words. They would protect her and stand by her side, no matter what challenges lay ahead. Together, they prepared for the days to come, ready to face the unknown. This was just the start of a story about courage, trust, and the power of kindness between two very different beings. As time passed, the peaceful days the alien woman and the human shared began to change. The news of the alien's presence spread beyond the quiet place where they lived. Some people were curious and wanted to meet her, but others saw her as a threat. There were those who did not understand her and were afraid of what she might be. The alien woman, once abandoned and alone, now faced new dangers. One morning, while the human was gathering food, they noticed unfamiliar figures moving through the trees. These were not friends. They came with serious faces and weapons, and it was clear they planned to take the alien woman away. The human's heart raced, but they knew they had to protect her no matter what. The human hurried back to their shelter and found the alien woman resting. They quickly told her about the strangers. Fear flashed in her eyes, but she stayed calm. Together, they decided to hide and prepare. The human found a secret path through the forest they had discovered before, a place where no one could easily follow. For days, they stayed hidden, moving quietly from place to place. The alien woman's strength had returned, and she was ready to face the danger with courage. She had learned much from the human about this world, and now it was time to use that knowledge. The human and the alien woman worked together to stay safe. The human set simple traps and signs to warn if anyone was coming. The alien woman used her sharp senses to watch the forest for any movement. They communicated with small signals and helped each other stay calm. One night, as the stars shone bright overhead, the danger came close. The strangers entered the forest, searching for the alien woman. The human and the alien woman held their breath, hiding behind thick trees. The strangers moved carefully but did not find them. The alien woman whispered, "We must find a way. To stop them." The human nodded. They knew running forever was not the answer. They needed to face this challenge together. The next day, the human went to the nearby town to speak with a wise elder, a person known for helping those in trouble. The human explained the situation carefully, hoping the elder would understand. To their surprise, the elder listened with kindness. The elder said, "Fear makes people do strange things, but kindness and truth can help calm those fears." The elder agreed to speak to the people in the town and help protect the alien woman. Slowly, the community began to change. Some people came forward to help. They offered food, shelter, and protection. The story of the abandoned alien woman touched their hearts. Still, not everyone was convinced. There were those who wanted to capture her for power or control. The human and the alien woman knew they had to be ready for anything. In the quiet moments between danger, the human and the alien woman talked more about her past. She shared stories of her world, of bright cities and peaceful forests, of friends and family she hoped to see again. The human listened, feeling grateful to be part of her story. Together, they planned what to do next. They wanted to find a way for the alien woman to live in peace, whether on this planet or another. The human promised to help her find a way, home if possible. One afternoon, while working on a small device the alien woman had saved from her ship, they heard a noise. The strangers had returned, stronger this time. But the human and the people from the town were ready. They stood together, protecting the alien woman with courage and hope. The strangers realized they could not take her by force. They left, knowing the alien woman was safe for now. After the danger passed, the human and the alien woman felt a deep sense of relief. Their bond had grown stronger because of the trials they faced. They knew more challenges might come, but they were no longer afraid. They had each other, and together they would face whatever the future held. The alien woman's story was no longer just about being lost and abandoned. It had become a story of bravery, friendship, and the fight for a new life. After the danger passed, the alien woman and the human found a new sense of peace. The people who had once been afraid slowly began to accept the alien woman as one of their own. Some came to see her not as a stranger or a threat, but as someone who had survived against all odds and deserved kindness and respect. The alien woman spent her days learning about this new world. She watched the seasons change, felt the sun warm her skin, and listened to the songs of birds she had never heard before. Though her heart still longed for her home among the stars, she found comfort in the simple beauty around her. The human continued to stand by her side. Their friendship had grown deep, stronger than either had expected. They shared quiet moments of laughter and hope. The human helped her understand the ways of the planet, and the alien woman shared stories of her life far away. Together they dreamed of the future. They wondered if the alien woman might one day return to her home world, or if she would find a new place to belong here. The human promised to help her find that path, no matter what it took. One day, while exploring a nearby hill, the alien woman found a piece of her old ship, a small metal fragment that had survived the crash. Holding it in her hands, she felt a mixture of sadness and hope. It reminded her of where she came from, but also showed her how far she had come. The human saw the look in her eyes and knew she was thinking about her past and future. They placed a gentle hand on her shoulder and said, "We will find a way. You are not alone." The alien woman smiled softly, feeling grateful for the kindness that had changed her life. She realized that even though her journey had been filled with pain and fear, it had also brought her something unexpected, a new family, a new home, and a new chance to live. News of their story spread beyond the small town. People from far away came to hear about the alien woman who had been saved by a human. Her story inspired many. It reminded people that even in the darkest moments, kindness and friendship could light the way. Scientists became interested and offered to help communicate with her world. They studied the metal fragment and tried to find ways to send messages to her people. Though it was difficult, the alien woman and the human worked together with them, hoping for a sign from the stars. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. The alien woman's health grew strong, and her spirit grew brighter. She began to teach the human about her culture, her language, and the wisdom of her people. In return, the human shared stories of Earth, its history, and its dreams. Their bond showed that even though they came from very different places, they could learn from one another and grow together. They proved that love and friendship could cross any distance, even between worlds. One clear night, under a sky full of shining stars, the alien woman looked up and whispered, "Thank you." She was thankful not only for being saved, but for the chance to live, to hope, and to belong. The humans smiled back, knowing that their journey was far from over, but feeling proud of how far they had come. Together, they watched the stars, dreaming of a future filled with endless possibilities. In the end, what started as an abandoned life ready to end became a story of rescue, courage, and new beginnings. The alien woman had opened her eyes not to darkness, but to a world full of hope, and to a human who held her with kindness and love.